Hi you guys, I'm glad you made it back. Okay, hopefully you've seen my first video of this series of me making my wood fence. It's a pre-painted wood fence using metal posts. I'm going to use the same construction on my gate. So this is kind of a part 2. It's not going to be very detailed, but you can get the gist of how it's constructed. It's pretty simple, and you'll see why I did it the way I did. So let's get to work. Okay, what you're seeing here is my gate. I laid it down. You can see that you've got some 2x4s, you've got some wheels screwed into the 2x4s, you've got some metal piping, and you've got some angled fittings on each corner, and you've got some hinges like you would use typically on a chain link fence. Okay, what I did was figured out the size of gate I needed, and then I had to figure out the way I wanted it built. And obviously you can see somewhat how I wanted it built there. That's what I came up with. And the reason why I did it this way with the wheels on the bottom is that no matter what gate I've seen built with all the bracing, in time all gates sag. So what I decided to do was to put these wheels on the bottom so it'll roll on the floor, and all the weight will be on the wheels and the gate won't sag. And I think I'll get a few more years out of my gate. So for the height, I deducted the wheels, the 2x4s on the bottom and on the top, and then that gave me my inside dimension. And then on the left to right, I'm not putting a 2x4 on the left side there because that's where it's going to hinge. And on the right side, I put that 2x4, so I just deducted the hardware that I'm going to use that's against the house minus the 2x4, and that gives me my width. And what I did is I used 1 5/8 tubing that you would find in the chain link section in Home Depot. And then I found these angled brackets that they use for chain link doors that I'm also using. Anyway, once I figured out my sizes, I cut the pipe, I put these corner brackets in, I tightened them down, and then as you can see here, right next to these wheels that I bolted on, you can see one 2-inch self-tapping screw that I used. I used 4 on each side of the 2x4s going into the pipe. The face is facing down, and the 2x4s, as you can see, are butt jointed, but I used glue and I used 3 3-inch wood screws on each corner. So the bottom gets 4 self-tapping screws, the sides gets 4, the top gets 4. Obviously nothing gets on the hinge side because we've got the hinges on that side. Okay, now we're going to add 2 2x4s. This is the second one you want to screw in, but it's flush to my side, and again I'm gluing it and putting 3 3-inch wood screws on each end. But this is the first one you want to do, that way you want to make sure everything's square. This one you're going to add screws on the top and bottom, 3 3-inch wood screws, and you're going to add 3 to 4 3-inch wood screws on the sides. Once you know it's squared, and go ahead and screw it in, and then do the hinge side. Okay, let's stand it up. As you can see, we got the gate standing up, and the flush side, or the side that was on the floor, is on the outside, and you can see the hinges are on the left side there, hooked in. Okay, you can see as we're looking at this a little closer, you can see where all the weight is not on that pivot point on the hinge. It's also on the wheel. And all the weight on the door is also being carried on the outside of the door. That is where the weight of the outside of the door is going to fall, on that wheel. This gate is only going to open outward or away from us. Looks like we're ready to put on our fence posts on the outside. Okay, it looks like we got our posts up. I just stapled them in for right now. I'm going to come back and screw them in later with some galvanized screws or stainless steel screws, one or the other. Okay, let's see what it feels like when we open it. I'm opening it with one hand. It's not too bad. Have to probably do a little tune-up to it, but feels really good. Well, it looks really good. I'm really happy with it. All I have to do now is put a handle on it and put a lock. So you'll see a couple of videos on that coming up. Typically people will screw on a corner in here. I think I'm going to do something a little different. I think I'm going to use some metal. I'm thinking like something like copper or some brushed aluminum. Check out my next video and you'll see what I use later. And I'm thinking about putting some kind of a scroll on top, some kind of metalworking, and I'll attach that to the top of the fence also, maybe some lighting. So stay tuned for my other videos on how we can make this thing look a little better than just a typical gate. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed making them. So can't wait to see you on my next video. Until then, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you later. Bye.